It's inside the studio. As you can see, a full drum set. Ludwig's. They're all mic'd up, ready to go. 2 mics on the front head. I have my 16 channel snake, which captures all the mics for live recording. Mics everywhere on the drum set. I take up most of the channels. A set of A's with a Ludwig Centennial pack. Is that kit? Ludwig snare. So I also have mics on the snare top and bottom. I also have mic front kicking. Pick up the sound of the batters. Mics on all the toms. Overheads. Picking up all the sound overhead. I try to generally keep them as spaced out as I can so you can pick up multiple cymbals. Get an even spread of the drum set with 4 cymbal mics out of the top. And I have a little bass rig that we can use, and I can go direct as a DI out. I can just plug straight into the snake with DI. That goes straight into my preamps. The guitars, I like to use microphones. Like an SM57 and RE20. These are some of my favorite guitars. This is my first Charvel Jackson. It's from the early 80s, like 85, 86s. It's a Model 1 actually. I had it modified. It doesn't look like a Model 1. Model 1 only had 1 pickup and a Kaler on it. You know it's an old one. It's that style Kaler. Over here we have another old guitar. This is a Ovation Limited. I have 2 of these things. I started out on a guitar like this. Same model. These are built like 78, 79-ish. Then he made about 800 of these. These are real nice guitars. Play good. First guitar with a preamp built in. Active electronics built into the guitar. And you can see my Engel Retro. I have some PVs up here for the PA, live jamming. And my little rack here also has an Engel 100-watt stereo. This is my stereo rack. The old MP1 and a Digitech. Not much. I don't do a lot of pedals or stuff. Just a few little things. So basic DSP unit and preamp is all I really need. I have a few pedals over here. Like I said, I just use only a couple of them here and there, mostly a wah or something. I play a lot of times just dry guitar straight into the amp. The Engel Invader has been slightly modified and it has the Wizard unit, so I get a lot of gain out of that, all the distortion I need right there. 7-string Jackson. This is a newer one. Got this a couple years back. One of their productions. You know, every year they make like a Model Pro, and this was the 7-string Model Pro that year, and I grabbed one. So over here we have the I/O preamps, the Advent Audent units. I'll light them up for you. Those have all the preamps for everything coming from the snake. So just mics including the bass and the guitar, take up 16 channels. All 16 channels then come back here to the preamp section by the snake in the back. Everything's hooked up, and then it goes from the preamps into the Mo2 unit for conversion via ADAT, and that gives it the conversion into the computer. I can also go 2 live mics on the Mo2 unit, but pretty much 16 is where I do, and then everything live after that, and then it gets overdubbed anything past 16. So I have a Native Instruments controller, because I have Native Instruments 12, and that's the studio machine. This is like good for drum machine and stuff like that. Light it up there. I lit it up. So that gives you like drum machine and stuff when I have the program set up. And some of my monitors are not the best monitors in the world, but I get by with them. Need some better monitors, but that's, again, there's a whole trip down the money trail. Monitors, microphones, soundproofing, you name it. Everything you got to do in the studio is money, 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 money. So here's my studio desk, which I'm using. I don't have a console because everything's in the box, you know. So here's my console. There's my mixing console. That mixing console controls everything that's at the front end of that Mo2 unit. So I'm listening to the front end, and no kind of latency, because we're listening to the front end before it even goes to the computer. So when you're listening to the computer playback, that's where you get your latency stuff. But if you're listening to pre-monitors, the latency is such minute that the human ear can't pick it up. So you're the faster these computers get, which that's what I invested in here. That brings me to my workstation. This has the new AMD Ryzen 3990X chip. So that's the most powerful chip on the market, 64 cores. And I'm running 64 gigabytes of memory using the 4000 speed Corsair, 4000 megahertz speed Corsair. Running that into NVMe cards, 8 terabytes of those. So all my programs, all the data, everything is running off of those NVMe cards. And I use, for long-term storage, I have a 14 terabyte hard drive, but with 8 terabytes to work with, that's plenty of space to do anything you need to do for audio or video. And then once you're done with that project and sealed it up, then you throw it on your other hard drive, because you don't need to work in time. And then anytime you need to work on it, you bring it off the hard drive, put it on the NVMe cards, and that way you get the best result without latency from the CPU to hard drive. Spinning hard drives are a big problem with latency. As they come out with better programs and stuff, we're going to see some of that latency issues go away. Better CPUs, as that keeps getting going faster. Because even if I listen to this from post, listening from the computer and playing along, there's very minute latency. It's noticeable to real good musicians. Sounds like a very slight echo, but there's very minute. So I'm expecting the next generation of CPUs and memory and software to almost eliminate it completely, pre or post. So we should be able to just do real-time recording, which just comes straight through the preamp, listen to playback, everything. We should be able to do that. But that's kind of where I'm headed with this. And I'm trying to do a little bit of soundproofing. I'm doing some Gorilla generic stuff here with moving blankets, but they're heavy enough that they'll block some of the reflection. And then I got nice wood paneling on the walls, so the reverb that I do get in this room is a nice warm tone because of the walls being all wood. And I have stuff here and there, And that does block sound, and it does. And a big plus that I'm working on still is this was an upstairs, this is a complete upstairs. So there's a second floor up there. So there's a whole lot of sound that just raises up and gets stuck up there. So I don't have no sound traps, because this is a big sound trap right there. Just in the way the roof is angled, it just makes the sound go up there and stay. I noticed that when I was ripping the roof off. I'm gonna plan on rebuilding this and making a second floor again. It was all built wrong, but once it's built in there and you built it right and soundproof it right, it's gonna be nice. But as I was tearing this down, I noticed the different sound qualities, because I played in here while it was at different points of tear down, and like with half the room open and half the room closed, or with the room completely open. The room completely open is a really good sound, so I've been doing that for recording for a while. Eventually, that with soundproofing, I think will help. But just a plain old ceiling was kind of tight, and when I opened it up, I could kind of hear the sound bouncing around up there. Anyway, the rest of the studio is I just keep shelves there for storing different equipment while we're working or while I'm not working. It's up there, so it's not in the way. So if you need something instantly, we need another amp, something, we just grab it off the shelf. But this is that's my main working unit. So that cabinet, that stack, everything's hooked up. And I use that, and I have a variac on that, so I don't blow my ears out. That 100-watt amp will play down to 15 watts. So it won't blow my ears out. And that's a lot of times when we're jamming and recording, that's all the higher I am, at 15 watts, playing through that big stack. But you still get the same sound, same qualities. I just can't get as loud. I still get the same qualities though, because I've taken it to gigs and didn't warm up and forgot the variac was turned. I'm like, why can't I turn it up? Oh, the variac. Turned it up, and then bam, it just gets a great big loud sound, but the tonal qualities is the same. So Ibanez 5-string, I like playing that thing, short scale, hard key. This is my mic cabinets. Keep all my different sets of mics. Most of my mics are out. So, but I have a preamp, a DI hard key, and I have another DI box there. It's other things, just mics and stuff like that that I need. And over here is another toolbox that I keep for cables. More cables. And then tools and stuff here for repairing guitars or whatever I need to do. I've got my strings in here. I'll keep this guitar mostly. So, these all lock up. Keep everything safe, secure. I have another room back there. It's full of junk, but I use this room occasionally for a mic room, but right now it's been adding up with guitars and cables. It's getting too full. This has been a full off room, but it needs to get cleaned up, and then maybe it'll be a mic room again. But actually, a good place to do vocals is right here, dead center in the room. Get all that space. And since I'm just in the studio alone, I use headphones a lot of times to record with, and then listen back on the monitors. This is my grand studio tour of Kaos Studio. As you can see, it's still a work in progress, but work is progressing. So both happens here. We try to make the studio better every day, and every day we try to make the products we make in the studio better every day. So it becomes a work in progress for both. Hope you enjoyed. This is my little studio. Come again.